Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. The current session focuses on the procedure of neurolinguistic programming. I hope and expect by the end of this session you would have some understanding of the procedures that are involved in a lesson that is taught according to neurolinguistic programming in a language classroom. Well, my dear students, NLP principles can be applied to the teaching of all aspects of language according to Revel and Norman. Example of a suggested lesson sequence can be as I'm going to share with you. The primary focus of the sequence is awareness and production of instances of the present perfect tense in English language. So I am going to take you through the whole process or the whole procedure of how to design and how to perform such a lesson in the classroom. The lesson begins with a guided fantasy of eating a food item and then reflecting on the experience. So the lesson on present perfect tense in English would start with an activity here where, the students would be taken through a sensory experience of enjoying a food item. So the first step would be that students are told that they are going to go on an inner grammatical experience as they eat a biscuit. So the teacher is supposed to check that they understand the vocabulary of the experience, the words such as smell, taste, chew, swallow, bite, lick, etc. These are the words that the teacher would use while he or she would be taking the students through this sensory experience of eating a biscuit. And the teacher needs to ensure that the learners already know these vocabulary items. So to start the activity, the teacher asks the students to relax, to close their eyes and to go inside. That is to focus on their inner selves. Once inside, that is in their internal world, they listen to the teacher produced fantasy. Now this is the text on the slide that the teacher would read out for them or would utter for them. Imagine a biscuit. Now the students are just imagining that they are eating a biscuit. A delicious biscuit. The sort you really like. Pick it up and look at it closely. Notice how crisp and fresh it is. Smell it. Notice how your mouth is beginning to water. In a moment, you're going to eat the biscuit. So, the teacher through this vocabulary is just kind of sensitizing the whole sensory experience of smelling, of tasting, of touching, etc. Say the words to yourself. I'm going to eat this biscuit. So the students would repeat these words. The teacher gives the instruction. Slowly chew the biscuit and notice how delicious it tastes on your tongue and in your mouth. Say the words to yourself. Now these words are to be said by the students. I'm really enjoying eating this biscuit. Take another bite. Chew it. Taste it. Enjoy it. And then swallow. Lick your lips. Move your tongue all around the inside of your mouth to catch any last bits of biscuit and swallow them. So, taking them through the whole detailed experience of all that. Notice how you feel now. Notice the taste in your mouth. Notice how your stomach feels with a biscuit inside it. Notice how you feel emotionally. You have eaten a biscuit. Say the words to yourself, I have eaten a biscuit. So if you understand, this is for the first time that the present perfect tense form is introduced to the students and they're asked to use it. I have eaten a biscuit. How are you feeling now? Think of the words to describe how you are feeling now. So, from this sensory experience now, there is a shift to the verbal part of it where the student is encouraged to think of the words that they would use to describe this experience. Take a deep breath and gently come back to the room, that is the classroom, bringing the feeling with you. Open your eyes. Now at this stage, the teacher asks the students to describe how they are feeling now. So this now brings them back to the outer world where now they start using language to describe the whole experience. And the whole experience, because now they have already finished experiencing that, so automatically they would use present perfect tense for that. Listen for any statements that link the past experience of eating the biscuit with their present feelings. For example, I feel full, I'm not hungry anymore, I've got a nice taste in my mouth, I feel fat, etc. Ask them to say again the sentence that describes the cause of the way they feel so. That is, I have eaten a biscuit. Again, notice the use of present perfect tense. Put a large piece of paper on the wall with the words, I have eaten a biscuit at the top. Now the students have to write how they feel, and they would just fill in their remarks under that. On other pieces of paper, write sentences such as, I've painted a picture, I've had a row with my friend, with my girlfriend or with my boyfriend, I've finished my homework, I've cleaned my teeth, etc. So all these instances are with present perfect tense have. And of course, the third form of the verb. Now ask the students to stand in front of each sentence, close their eyes, and strongly imagine what they have done in order to be saying that sentence now. So again, the teacher is trying to relate the sensory experience with the outer world. Now the students write on the paper how they feel, and they write present perfect sentences on the board or on the piece of paper. Leave the papers on the wall as a reminder of the feeling that is linked to this grammatical structure. So throughout this lesson, the purpose is to create a link between a sensory experience and a grammatical structure. As a follow-up of this activity, contrast the feeling of present perfect with the feeling of simple past. Ask the students to remember the things that they did in the last lesson, in the previous lesson. For example, I ate a biscuit, I read a story, etc. Contrast these feelings with the feelings they remember from the last lesson, which they wrote down on the paper as well. Ask them to say the sentence, yesterday I ate a biscuit. Again, comparing the grammatical structure of have eaten with ate. Discuss the comparison between the feelings. I remember the taste, but I can't actually taste it. So a teacher can do similar kind of exercises to amplify other tenses as well, and can exploit the sensory experience of the students for this purpose. I have adapted this from Revel and Norman 1999, and any language teacher can adapt and further modify it to suit the needs of the students, the level of the students, and the kind of grammatical unit that is to be taught through neurolinguistic programming.